Monday. Stoked to have a bunch of you guys on here. Hope to see a bunch of cameras on today. Love to see some pretty faces. Lets us know that you are locked, you're loaded, you're ready to rock, you're all in. And you can close this year out freaking strong. This is a really good time to be in real estate. It's a really good time to be plugged in right now because a lot of people are checked out. A lot of people are like, oh, the holidays are here. I'm going to just coast through the rest of this year. And it's a great opportunity to go eat everybody's lunch right now. So I hope y'all are hungry. I hope you're ready to eat. I know I am. And so we're going to kick this thing off here in just a minute. The way that we like to run this is to answer the questions that you guys have for us. So if you ever have a question you want to have us answer on here, always submit it to topics.fastforwardmovement.com, topics.fastforwardmovement.com. That's how we pick topics for this, as well as all of the other masterminds that we host, which you guys are seeing as amazing agendas that are getting put out right now, courtesy of Mary Davis. We appreciate that. So whether it's for this one on Monday or Lieutenants tomorrow or any of the masterminds that we host, if you got something, make sure to submit it topics.fastforwardmovement.com.
So it's the link on the top.
Ella, if you could start muting all these unmuted mics. I don't know how you guys are all unmuting. So submit those things at topics.fastforwardmovement.com. Once we throw a topic out there, the way we run this is if you have a contribution, whether you have tried something and it worked extremely well or it failed miserably, we want to hear about it. A lot of times we can learn more from our failures than we can from our successes. So looking forward to a lot of great shares today. We already got a couple hundred people on here. I know we'll have a bunch more hopping on as well. So let's kick this thing off. Ashley, I see that you are on here. So why don't you fire away? We'll hit on your VA topic.
Hey Kyle, good morning. So my question is really okay, so let me give you some background. So I'm on a team. I'm on track right now to do about 30 million. I've closed 49 transactions here in New Jersey, and I have a full-time transaction coordinator. The team writes all my offers. We have a marketing department. But when it comes to my VA and my admin, they're purely working for me because it's things that I need help with from a client communication standpoint and just turning people over, scheduling showings. But the thing is, they're not working unless I'm telling them what to do. And it's a huge time suck because it's like, how am I supposed to be taking time off my plate if I have to sit there and tell them what to do all day long? And so, I'm running into this problem where I'm like, how am I supposed to leverage myself if they're not working, if I'm not telling them what to do? So I didn't know how anyone else is operating this and what people are doing.
Cool. This is going to be a good one. Stephen Hurd's up. So if you guys have a contribution here, hit the react button and then raise hand. That'll let us know that you have a contribution. I think it's a great topic. How have you guys gotten your admin up to speed where they don't drag you down and they actually push you forward? So let's see some more hands go up. Stephen, why don't you kick us off? Shannon, you'll be on deck.
What's up, everyone? Awesome to share.
I'm a little bit of a fool. I'm a little bit of lonely. I'm a little bit of oh, I need a cure.
So whenever
just a little bit of you.
Whenever I'm creating a task list for them, there should be nothing in that task that involves Ask Stephen. So if it is Ask Stephen or get something from Stephen, then I know I failed as the leader to create the right list for them. So I'll just kind of show you what I do, and just think of like being like really intuitive with it. I'm putting this together. I haven't finished this yet, but can you guys see my Canvas screen? Cool.
Yes.
So this is 15 tasks that I have them do, and I'm gonna create this image in like 2 seconds, and I'll share it with you guys. But a couple things that are really helpful in the list is one, collecting showings on feedbacks. I think that is like the number one easiest thing to have your VA do. So when we get a hot new listing, we often get like 20 or 30 showings a week. And a lot of the sellers that we work with, some of them are analytical and they kind of want to know what people are saying about their home and like what is the actual feedback for that. So I have my virtual assistant, whenever there is a showing, it goes to an email that gets pushed out to my VA as well as myself. And then I have a showing tracking spreadsheet where she'll go in there and she'll put in the name of the agent, the time they showed, and then she'll call them, text them, and email them 5 days in a row for feedback. So she hounds them for feedback. And you got to think on 20, 30 plus showings on a listing, a lot of times I'll get some information in that feedback that I can use to then call that agent and make a deal happen. I swear that has happened. So that has been something that's been helpful for me. And I won't go through all these, but I'll just kind of touch the main ones. Creating blog posts on your website. So this is something that's been super helpful for me. Anytime I'm getting a new topic right now, that is something that I think would be of interest to my clients. I have a template for a blog post that I have my assistant basically create. So I'll send her an article that I like today. There is a new law that just got signed in for 2026 that California landlords must provide a refrigerator for their tenants. This is huge for California landlords. So I sent that article to her. She's creating a blog post, and then later today I'll have that blog post that I can then put in a MailChimp email campaign. I can text it to clients, and I can just use it for other marketing purposes. So that's really helpful. This is something that is super simple, but kind of like most people are uncomfortable with. I have my VA send everyone a birthday message on Facebook. Once or twice a month, I get a message back from people I went to high school with or like clients and just say, hey, like, I just want to appreciate you sent me a birthday message 3 years in a row. Like, I don't know how you do it. I'm so grateful. And I just hope you have a happy holidays or whatever, right? So that's been something that's been good. And then posting your listings on your various pages. So every Thursday, when we take a new listing, my virtual assistant will do a just listed post, and she'll post it on my personal Facebook, our business Facebook page, our business Instagram page, my personal past client community page, and then Facebook Marketplace. And so there's like 5 or 6 different places, and she saves me probably an hour of time just posting this out there. But what it's done is it's just given me that consistency. So it's just like hitting a farm, right? If you're on social media, we don't want to overwhelm them, but we want to show them we're selling homes every week. And that's like something that really brings to that credibility. The last thing I'll share is managing my profit and loss statement. So I don't know about you guys, this has been like the bane of my existence, like adding up all the expenses and doing all that. To me, it's just so draining. So what I do is I download all of my expenses in my business account. I upload them to a Google Drive folder, and she will go in there and month over month personally categorize it and reconcile it, make sure everything is exactly as it's supposed to be. There's nothing that's standing out as issues, and et cetera, et cetera. So she now is kind of like my mini bookkeeper. So those are like the top 5 tasks I'll do. I have her do, and then I'm going to create a list of 15 and share it with you guys in a minute.
Beautiful. Shannon, go for it.
Okay, hey guys. So, my opinion on this probably isn't going to be necessarily, I guess, liked per se, because the VA is not doing their job. They just don't know what to do, right? So it's not like, so you're kind of giving them reactive tasks instead of proactive tasks, which is the hardest thing, for you to do as an agent, right? So instead of having your VA wait around to tell you what to do, you want your VA to almost essentially be telling you what they need, right? So, many, many years ago, I actually wore a GoPro for 2 weeks. You guys are probably going to laugh. Justin Nelson told me to do this from Sphere Rocket, and I actually did it, right? And so for 2 weeks, I recorded every single thing I did. The VA that I hired at that point had the task of then taking every single thing that I did and writing it down, right? Is it taking a break? Is it an inspection? Did I write an email? Did I eat an apple? Whatever that was, like she detailed that list all day for those 2 weeks. We then took that task list and put it into 4 different buckets, which was operations, TC, client care, and social media. And then we went one bucket at a time and we're like, okay, operations. What is it that I absolutely have to do, right? Like check all, I don't know, check all contracts to make sure they're good, whatever it is, right? TC work. About 90 of those tasks, about 4 of them were things that I personally had to do. Everything else could have been leveraged off to somebody else. So we went task per task, and I trained that VA on every single thing that she needed to do out of those 85 tasks, right? So now that bucket, it's trained. we now have an SOP on every one of those buckets of my expectations for her to do. And now we have a schedule that goes out where it's like, hey, this is my expectation from you to be working from 8:30 to 9 to 5 p.m., right? Whatever your hours are. Now, when I pull you to do tasks separately, this is my expectation of I want this done within 5 minutes of me pulling you from these tasks. And when I'm done these tasks, you are to go back to the original daily tasks. But if you're not telling your VA what to do proactively, she's not going to know what to do. And then she's just going to be sitting around waiting. So I think this is more of a training and an SOP problem, not so much a VA problem. And I kind of shared some of the tasks. I don't know if I can actually share my screen. Hold on, let me see. So I shared this in the group. This is kind of our thing that we do. We have a 30-day night, 30, 60, 90, what we expect, a full schedule, some tasks that they do, what this kind of looks like. And it's our expectations throughout the day. Now, in the Facebook group, I have a few of these. I have a I have a TC in there. I have social media. I have virtual assistant. This is the admin. I can send this to Mary, and Mary can send them all out again. But they are linked in the actual, not the guides, I guess, file section of the Facebook group. So that's my contribution.
That is really good, Shannon. Thank you. That's very, very helpful. It's definitely not the day. It's definitely me. And it's a matter of me I don't want, not that I don't want, I have a difficult time right now managing because I'm all over the place and chaotic, showing houses, doing the whole nine. So doing exactly what you said is going to be very, very important.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, for you to move forward, you have to step back. You're never going to be able to leverage properly if you don't stop, slow down, train properly, and go. It's like building a house. You need your foundation strong, or whatever you build on top of it's going to crumble down.
Spencer, go for it.
This is something I've currently been working on and struggling through, and big help from Brian Danny. First recommendation is this book, Essentialism. I have an issue with handing off tasks because I know I'll do it better, faster, all these things.
For perspective, real quick, Spencer worked as an assistant for the top agent on our team for a few years, so he has a unique perspective here. Right, go ahead.
Yeah, letting things go is really tough for me. Knowing that they get done right, on time, different things like that. So this book, Essentialism, it's about stripping back all of your insecurities about letting those things go. And then secondarily, this Delegate to Elevate. This is an EOS form. And I've had this sitting next to my desk for the past couple weeks. And everything I do fits into one of these buckets. I love it and it makes me money. I like it and I'm good at it. I don't like it, I'm good at it. And I don't like it and I'm not good at it. And then 2 of these buckets is my VA's job. Everything on the I don't like it, I'm not good at it. I don't like it, I'm good at it. That's their job. And then I have been super diligent with recording every single thing that I do, dropping it into ChatGPT. Hey, give me an SOP for this, and putting it into a system. Doesn't matter what you use. I use Monday. But these 2 things that Brian recommended to me have been huge game changers. I'll drop a link to the Delegate and Elevate form and the book in the chat.
Awesome. Desi, go for it.
Quick shout out to Dan. He called me on this and I took action. So I recently hired a VA. I did 2 things differently this go around. Number 1, I hired someone that was in a similar time zone so that they weren't exhausted, wiped out, or, kind of having issues because it's the wee hours of the morning. I've seen a huge change in that. When I interviewed the person, I had several interviews. I told them, I was looking for the opposite person to me. So I told them what my day looked like. And I pretty much interviewed on that. Like I said, hey, listen, this is how I am, right? How would you work with me? So if you had nothing to do, what would you do in this scenario, right? And pretty much that was the bulk of my interview, right? Kind of seeing like how they were going to support. Lastly, what I also did, and this may be helpful, I gave them, I upgraded my chat to business or team, whatever it is. So it already knows me. So every time this person needs to research something, or they already know what my tone is, everything else. So it's made it really, really, really less arduous this time around than first go around. So hopefully that helps.
Cool. I'll do a quick share. I think everybody's right here. You got to take a step back, but this is one of those things that's like one step back and 100 steps forward. So you've got to show them what to do. But if you do it right, where you document it, you don't have to show them over and over and over again. So there's a lot of different ways that you could do this. One of the very, very simple ways to do it is just using something like Loom, Loom. And you could see our team uses this pretty heavily, our operations side of our team. I mean, how the operations SOPs alone, they've got 1,200 freaking videos. So how to do everything, like how to set up a property date sync, how to notify the buyer via text of a DocuSign being sent to them. Like but these are like 1 minute, 4 minute, 2 minute. These are very short little videos, but somebody can come in here and like text buyer, they can type that in and like, here's all the SOPs of how to do that. So Loom is just a very easy, this just does a screen recorder. But if you take the time to show them how to do these things, now they don't have to come back to you to ask you how to do them. So you're going to have to take a step back. You're going to have to record a video of you doing it. But these 1 minute, 2 minute, 4 minute videos save hours and hours and hours of time, and it compounds over time. Additionally, if you're using VA in particular, they tend to do exactly what you ask, no more, no less. A lot of VAs are not good at working outside the box. They do exactly what they're told. If you give them very, very clear, explicit instructions, it makes their job a lot easier. If you're leaving things open, if you're just like, hey, make sure you send the buyer a text when this happens, like, but what does the text say? What system do I use this in? That's what goes through their mind. They get paralyzed. So the more you can show them explicitly, step by step by step, what to do, how to do it, so there's no confusion, then you will get the results that you're looking for. But if you don't get the results you're looking for, it's 100% your fault. And it could be your fault too. If they don't follow the instructions, it's your fault for not getting rid of them. A good VA is going to do exactly what you ask. Ella, who's been with us for years now, like, I literally gave her, here's the exact post that I want. Here's when I want them posted. Here's, the exact copy to use. Like, and she crushes it, right? To make sure that they get out every single week. Like, you've got to have very clear, detailed instructions. And don't assume that they're going to figure stuff out. That's where you're going to get yourself into trouble. And then you've got to give them very clear instructions, like this is how to do it, but you also have to give them a very clear agenda of what to do. So like, what does their day look like? And you've got to outline it. Don't expect people to just come and figure out how to fill the day and what to do. Because if you don't tell them what to do, that's what causes them to keep coming back to you and ask what to do. So this is one you've got to take a step back, but you're going to get 10 steps forward. It's going to help you grow like crazy. There's another system you can use that to me takes Loom to another level. It's called Scribe. And we use Trainual. Trainual is pretty expensive for what you're trying to do. But the system Scribe, Trainual has this built into it. So those of you guys that are using Trainual, they have a new AI process builder that's badass. It's basically Scribe built into it. But with Scribe, you go and you record a video of what you're doing. So you just hit the button and go through it. And then it actually like builds out the step by step by step. So there's the video as well as like the written version of what you're trying to teach it to do. So the system Scribe is really, really powerful as well for building out workflows, SOPs, all of that stuff. So Scribe for most of you guys is probably going to be great. I don't think it's very expensive, like $12 per seat per month. They even have a free version. This is great. For those of you guys that are running teams and you need to do something at a higher level, Trainual is what we use. I'll post a link. So you guys can get a discount on it. But Trainual, if you're running a big team and you're scaling, Trainual is great. But for most of you guys, this is going to be perfect, and you're going to pay $12 a month per seat, so $24 a month to save yourself hours and hours and hours of time. So hopefully that is helpful. We're right on time. Kristen, I know that you got to jump here in a little bit, so why don't we fire away with your topic?
Thank you. Yeah, we really need support in getting better attended events. I completely understand that it's not about who comes to the event, it's all about the touches surrounding that. And at the same time, would really like to have more people at all of our events. And we've tried a mix of make them pay a little bit, subsidize some of the ticket, completely free. And definitely the free events, we have the biggest bailout. But even things where it's like a subsidized event, or like yesterday, we had a client event. We had 45 RSVPs for photos with Santa, and 7 showed up, which that never happens. Like people are always lining out the door for this event. So we just don't know what else to do. We're doing everything we can think of. We're putting calendar events on people's calendars. We've got the phone calls, text messages, emails. If it's for like a first time home buyer event, we have, insert blank, all of the above. So anybody who's like absolutely killing it with getting humans with heartbeats in a room, I would love to hear.
Are you focused on client events, agent attraction events, or just events, period?
Events, period. I mean, we
Okay.
like across the board, and I'm in the DC area. People are very busy. I get it. And there's a lot of competition. Um, but I just can't seem to make any sense of it. And the events that we throw are great. So it's not the event itself.
Cool. Well, Mary, who runs our events, she knows a thing or two. So Mary, why don't you fire away?
Yeah. Especially for free events, getting them to take action like right away after signing up can really help. So that could be a mix of things. This is obviously for a virtual workshop, but getting them to watch a video of last year's event so they can get excited. You're leaving an actual visual imprint in their brain, and that stays with them. Um, that is the most focused they're ever going to be on your event, is right after they just signed up, like within seconds, minutes. And so whatever you can get them to go deeper with you right then is going to make a big impact. So getting them to download something, getting them to watch a video, getting them to add the event to their calendar. So you said that you were doing maybe, I don't know if you're manually sending it, but I love using addevent.com, addevent.com. It's a linking tool that you can do. I use it for fast forward movement. That way, it's on their calendar, all the details are there, and it's just a great tool if you're looking for one. And then I love this one, invite a friend. So we know if you invite someone to come with you, a friend, a client, a neighbor, I like to give people a copy and paste text message or a copy and paste something and encourage them to invite someone. If there's accountability involved and they've now got someone else coming with them, the likelihood that they're going to come is increased by like 75%. And we also email this immediately after registration. So not only are they going to see it on the thank you page, but it's going to be emailed to them with the same copy and paste instructions, all of these click to add to calendar. And then from there, I think just getting your reminder emails on point. One of the best reminders you can do is right when the event starts. A lot of times we think people don't come to our events because they don't like them and they don't think they're cool, but really we're in the time that we're in with all the things happening, all the things on social media. It's really like we make it impossible for people to remember that our event is happening. So for an in-person event, for example, if you're doing like a 4-hour event, that a reminder that goes out right when it starts is one of the most important that you can do, because someone's sitting on the couch with their kids. They totally forgot your Santa photo thing is happening. They're like, guys, let's get in the car, let's go. And so those are just a few tips that I have that have really helped increase attendance across the board.
Thank you. When you're doing, like when we were at the San Diego Mastermind, there was a series of text messages. Was that through High Level?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and those all are usually they're scheduled, but Go High Level's like easy if you've got a laptop and you're realizing like, shoot, we need to get this reminder out. I actually have everybody register through Go High Level, so they're tagged. So it's not like I have to export from some other system and import to another system in real time. Like if 20 people signed up in the last hour, they're going to get their reminder because it's those automations are all based on tags in Go High Level.
Okay.
Yeah, high level, keeping people updated throughout events is a game changer. Like the more people have to think, the less they do. So when you can give them like clear, explicit instructions, where to be, when to be there, what to be prepared for when they get there, like that stuff helps massively. If people don't know what to expect, they sometimes just won't show up. So it helps a ton. Jill, go for it.
Hey, Kristen, how are you? Um, so yeah, I've had pretty great success actually with my client events. For our size team and our volume, people really show up, and what I found works for us anyway is making like a highlight raffle items, and that's our drip campaign going into the event. So we will like get Eagles tickets. I mean, we're from Philly. Eagles are a big deal. So I get one of my lenders to partner with me, and we get like really good Eagles tickets. So going into the event, the client's getting a text message about the Eagles tickets. They're getting then the follow up that if they bring somebody looking to buy or sell within the next year, they get 25 more raffle tickets. If they bring if they while at the event, if they introduce themselves to the lender, they get 10 raffle tickets. Like we give them ways to win raffle tickets all throughout the course of an event. So then they're like coming because they want to win and they're bringing clients. I've gotten direct leads from my client appreciation events of people coming and being like, hey, this is my friend, this is my coworker. They're looking to buy, they're looking to sell. Do I get my 25 raffle tickets? So I think if you can find a niche or something that the community really loves and you can make that like the value add of what you're doing at your event, I've had really great success with that. And just continuing to drop it in front of your database for weeks, months leading up to the event. Our big event is in October. We start advertising that event in like June. It's going out to them for months before the event. And then the other one I do, which is actually for agent attraction, I do a pretty big, this will be my 7th one actually, this March coming up in March of 26th. I do a mega mastermind event at Seasons 52. I partnered with them years ago. They give me a really good rate. They give me a really good room. And it's a nice size room. Like my opinion too is don't go to a venue where the venue's too big and the event feels too small, if that makes sense. Go to a venue where, if you put 50 people in the room, it feels packed, right? It feels like a really great event. So I do it in this room. We usually sell out to 60 agents, and I always try to have some form of 2 panelists, a workshop, something mixed in there that again shows value. But anytime you do an agent event, you have to sell the ticket. I sell these tickets at $50 a piece, and that's how I think with the attraction side of things, they show up. But I'd be happy to share any of that, like our whole, kind of Rolodex on how we roll out the mastermind and how I do the bigger raffle client appreciation yearly. We have other ones too. Like I do virtual bingo. I have like 60 families that show up for virtual bingo. They love it. And all I do is sit on a screen like this and just roll a bingo basket and call out baskets. It's nuts to me how many people show up for virtual bingo. I'm doing it again in February because I sent out a "Do you want it?" and everyone was like, "Yeah, we want it. We want it." So virtual bingo is also really big. But I think it's about the raffle baskets. It's about the catch.
I think
Yeah,
we
we
should all do
do.
virtual bingo. That sounds great.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. Yeah, and we have everyone silent, like everyone knows the rules that they have to write as soon as they get on, they have to write bingo on a card. Everyone stays muted. I have like my VA keeping everyone muted until somebody puts bingo up in the screen, and then we unmute and then I deliver the baskets to their house. So if one of my agents win, they deliver the basket to their client's house, but then we hand deliver the baskets, and then that's a social post and some follow up from there too. But I do also give out awesome baskets. Like you can't go and get like, you got to give out good baskets. That's another kind of draw.
Do you guys have, and yes, please, any SOP for that or the Go High Level build out? We're just onboarding Go High Level now. So anybody who has something that I can rip off, please let me know. Do you find like the type of initial invitation, whether it's through email or Eventbrite or social media, or like what works best?
Yeah, we use Eventbrite to start for the Mega Mastermind. It's Eventbrite, and then for our client events, it's Evite. But then I go from Evite to everyone has to send text. Like we'll do like my VA sends personal text through my CRM. All my agents send personal text. So the text is, I think, really what captures the client in conversation. And then we follow up with all the like follow up touches through Eventbrite and Evite.
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing we've done, we ask people we do gift baskets, so we get donated by vendors. And then they can either write a review or they can bring in a food donation. We have a mission to donate 1 million meals to Feeding America and Feeding San Diego. And so our most recent event, we gave out over 600 pies, which is absurd. But 22.8% of the people that attended either brought food and or wrote a review, which is pretty crazy. It was 121 people total that did that. And so we found Google, if you get a bunch of Google reviews around the same time, they will all make it through. You cannot do that with any other source that we found. They'll get filtered like crazy. So we've had really good luck asking for reviews, and then they show up, they get a raffle ticket, and then we raffle off the gift baskets. But using events to get reviews and help with our mission to 1 million meals really helps. And if you don't have a cause in 2025, I think you're missing out. One, we're lucky as hell, right? Because we're talking about making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on these masterminds. So hopefully you realize how blessed and fortunate you are and bless some others and give them some good fortune. But it's also a real good look for your company at the same time. So strongly encourage you to all find a cause that you connect with and lock arms with them. And I think you'll see amazing things happen. Ryan, go for it.
Thanks. Yeah, a lot of good ideas here leading up to the event. So I won't repeat those. We do a lot of those. And hey, Kristen, by the way, Kristen and I are in the same market. But our last client event last year or last month when we did the pie day, we had about 90% show up rate, which is typical for that event. So to talk about the day of, everybody gets a personal text. Sorry, excuse me. Everybody gets a personal text the morning of saying how much I'm looking forward to them. And then the other thing I think that helps is we send out a picture of, like, for example, for the pie day event, it was a picture of me at the baker with all the pies loaded into the car that went out to everybody that was registered. And I think for the people that, are absent-minded and would forget about it, they see that and like, hey, like Ryan's going out of his way to go pick these up for me. I need to show up. And then we had an October client appreciation event. And same thing, like when we arrived at the venue to set up for the event, I took a picture of it and sent it out to all my people who were registered. And you asked about methods. So for at least, we do different ways of registering people for different events, like Eventbrite, calendar invite, Google form, Facebook event. So the Pi Day was a Facebook event. So that was a good one where I was able to post that picture in the Facebook event that gets sent to, like, not just my 30 people who were registered, but like hundreds of people that were invited that aren't going to come. And they saw that I was doing that. So, and I got a lot of reactions and a couple comments within the Facebook event. So try that. Maybe I think that day of photo of you busting your butt or the team to like set up for the event that they registered for, it's going to remind them and guilt them into coming, to put it that way.
Thank you. Awesome.
Since we have a quick minute here, I want to do a little reminder. We've got an event coming up for all of you guys that qualify as a general or a lieutenant. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware of this. So this is for everybody who's on here that's doing at least 15 million or 30 units. This event is for you guys. So this is happening on February 2nd through
No,
4th
so
in
the one.
Aspen, Colorado. So love for you guys to attend. All the details are at ffmaspen.com. These events are, if you look at this agenda here, you only have a few hours of content, but we really try to focus on super high level actionable content from the best of the best inside of Fast Forward. And then we're in an amazing mountain town. So whether you want to ski, you want to snowboard, you just want to shop, you want to be a snow bunny, you want to go sledding, whatever you want to do, it's going to be available to you in Aspen. It's a gorgeous city if you've never been there before. So would love for you guys to attend. These are also amazing events. If you have somebody who's been thinking about locking arms with us, they want to get a taste for what we do, bring them to this, immerse them in our world for a few days, and let them figure out if this is the right fit for them or not. So bring a guest. If you are not doing that production, 15 million or 30 units, the way that you earn yourself a spot at this event is to bring a guest that is not with us that's doing that production. And that's your way to earn yourself a spot at the table. These are small events. I think our capacity is 100 and something on this, 150 maybe. So lock in. Also make sure that you guys lock in your hotel. We filled our first hotel. Mary did an awesome job and found a hotel that's right across the street in walking distance. So we do have a secondary hotel lined up because the first hotel room block sold out already. So in the event, I know will sell out here shortly in the next couple of weeks. So lock in ffmaspen.com. The other thing, I just want to make sure you guys are aware of this website, referral.fastforwardmovement.com. If you guys are ever looking to refer a deal out, or maybe you have an agent who's looking to join a team, or you're looking for a co-sponsor in a particular area, referral.fastforwardmovement.com has this beautiful map. This is where you guys want to look first to find people in particular markets. And when you click on something, it will load up all of their contact info, the areas that they cover, their production, all of that fun stuff, so that you can help get people placed. I see a lot of like, hey, who covers this area? Who covers that area? Like, this is the ideal place to start those searches. So for referrals, for co-sponsors, and for placing people onto teams, this is the website you want to go to. If you are, and to be on this map, the beauty is everybody that's on here is qualified as a lieutenant or a general. That means they're doing at least 15 million in volume or 30 units. So you know the people that are on here are producing at a high level, and your clients or agents are going to be very well taken care of. If you are not on this map, send a DM to Ella, FFM-Ella, FFM-admin Ella on Facebook. Send her a DM with your production numbers and she will get you added. Also, when you're doing that production, you obviously get to attend events like the Aspen event. And we have private communities inside of WhatsApp for each of those groups where you can have high level conversations on a recurring basis. So just send a DM to Ella and she will get you added to the applicable WhatsApp community. Also get you details for getting added onto this map. Again, the map is referral.fastforwardmovement.com. There's a ton of questions. We'll try to hit those in there in a minute. So last topic, I just want to look really quick before I don't see that Shar is on here. So I'm just going to read this question to you guys. Shar Glidden had this, and I'll just read this out and we'll see some hands go up. What scripting do you use to qualify buyers? I think it was just 4 or 5 questions in one, but we got 20 minutes, so we'll hit on all of it. What scripting do you use to qualify buyers and sellers? Do you regularly role play these conversations? Can other people in Fast Forward participate in those sessions? Also, what's your go-to conversation to manage expectations? I think this is especially for buyers, the importance of a pre-approval, looking at homes, writing offers, inspections, etc. So really just how do you script? How do you practice them? And how do you set proper expectations? So kind of multitude of things there, whatever you want to jump in, let's do it. And the thing I want to share with you guys too is like Steven keeps raising his hand. You know what happens? You got a referral for Orange County. You're like, oh, I remember that Steven guy. He's always contributing on Mondays. Like, he's going to get those referrals. He's going to get those co-sponsorship opportunities. He's going to get those at-bats. I referred multiple people over to him because he's always on here. He's contributing. Like, if you guys want to put yourself on the map, or maybe you want to speak at an event, best way to do that is chime in here on these Mondays. Chime in on all the different masterminds that we do. Show us that you want to be a big contributor to this group. It'll unlock a lot of doors for you. Steven, go for it.
Thank you, Kyle. Really appreciate that. So just a little bit of context on scripting. So I do about 20 million in volume a year, and prior to being in real estate, prior to being a solo agent, I was an inside sales agent. So I was responsible for just basically prospecting all day long. And I really enjoy that space, and I enjoy the feeling of like mastery around practicing the scripts. So what I developed that was really helpful for me when qualifying, I know that they have like the LP Mama and all of those things, a lot of different like templates for qualifying leads. For me, it's just really simple. I want their motivation, their timeline, and what their needs in an agent are. So, a couple questions around motivation, and that's where I kind of start the conversation. So, I'll start it off more so about like, tell me a little bit about the home you like, what are your must haves, et cetera, et cetera. And then I will go into motivation. So, tell me what's important to you about buying a home this year. You could continue to rent. Like, why are you even thinking of buying? And I ask them some kind of poignant questions like that because I really want to surface what the motivation is, because the motivation is always a few layers deep. So they'll typically respond by saying, well, I just really don't want to pay rent anymore. Okay, tell me, like, what's important to you about not paying rent anymore? And you kind of get down to that little core message that they're thinking in their head, which is usually centered around freedom. And they see buying a home as giving them more freedom at some point in the future. And so as you're getting to that conversation, a level of rapport is opening up, and now they're connecting with you. There's that quote, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Well, you can't really care for someone unless you ask them questions to really understand their motivation. Like, hey, before you make the biggest purchase of your life, have you thought about why you're doing this, right? So that's kind of like the first in the care question. Second is the timeline. This is where we often get off, because I hear agents on calls a lot of times and they'll say things like, oh, you probably want to buy before the end of the year, right? Or I'm assuming your goal is to purchase, sometime next year. What you really want to ask is open-ended questions. What is your ideal timeline to be bags unpacked and moved into your next home? They will often respond to that. 50% of the time, they'll give you a date, and which is great because now you really clarified their goal and they're a little bit more motivated. Or sometimes they'll say, well, we really don't know. We don't have like a firm date in mind. Well, hey, totally appreciate that. In an ideal world, when do you think you'd like to be, kind of purchased and moved in? And that really helps clarify the timeline. If they start talking about they're in a lease, you ask them the follow-up question, when is your lease up? Because a lot of times you think you're talking to an A buyer, and then you realize, no, their lease isn't up for 6 months. And for example, there's a company where I live called Irvine Company. If you're in a rental there, they are going to hold you accountable to your lease break fee, and it's pretty intense. So there's a chance you're not going to buy, until your lease is up. So that's the location. And then your needs in an agent. So you guys could work with any realtor. Obviously, you can throw a rock and find a realtor in Orange County. But what are you really looking for in the person that partners with you to help to help find you the right home? Like, what are some of the qualities in that person? And they'll typically say things like communication, trust, honesty, and knowledge, right? Those are kind of like the top four. Whatever they say is going to be partially my pitch in why you need to meet for a no obligation buyer consultation. So, I think the next step that really makes sense for you guys would be for us to get together and have what I call our home buying consultation, where I, one, talk to you about our communication strategy and keeping you updated throughout the entire process. Two, I break down everything you need to know about the knowledge of where you're buying, what you're buying, and home inspections, appraisals, et cetera, et cetera. I break down the process from A to Z. And then lastly, I will go into our approach for being honest, et cetera, et cetera. Does that make sense to you? Then you go with the tie down. So once you give them value points that they've already told you are valuable to you, you then go with a tie down. And you know that they're interested in what you're saying by what their face does when you're saying this. So is that something that would be valuable to you? And if they're like this, then you're speaking a language that they're interested in. If they have a blank stare on their face, you might ask them a follow-up question like, it sounds like I might not have touched on something important to you. What are you really hoping to gain or to learn when you meet with a realtor? And then you kind of go back again with, great, we can cover that. So that is how you tie them down for the buyer consultation. That's how you qualify them. And then in terms of setting expectations, I will tell you that home inspection, I think, is the number one thing that blows up deals. And it's not the buyer, it's the buyer's dad who bought their home in 1960 for a can of blueberries and a quarter. And he thinks that they're supposed to get $15,000 to $20,000 in repairs for this home that they're buying when they're a first-time home buyer. So in the buyer consultation, I share with them a little bit about what a home inspection is and what you can expect. And so I'll break it down and I'll say, look, I've sat with hundreds and hundreds of buyers and helped them buy homes. I've bought and sold 6 or 7 different times myself. Here is what is covered in the home inspection. And I literally break it down. They're going to test the electrical outlets. They're going to test the plumbing in the house. They're going to do a thermal imaging scan of the walls, make sure that there's no water inside the walls. If there's evidence of mold, we're going to do mold tests. We're going to do a termite inspection, make sure there's no little critters flying on in your roof or whatever, right? So once I break down what it is, now they're more empowered with education. People act foolishly when they don't have the right information, and then they come in and try to negotiate crazy credits. So I tell them, here's what is covered in a home inspection. And then I talk to them about what's typical to expect from the seller in the market. Water damage, leaky pipes, structural things that are like, big structural issues. And I'm like, here's what you can expect. Here's the last 20 deals I've done, and we average around $3,000 to $5,000 for a home, from a credit from the home seller. But it's only for serious stuff. And so when you give them that information, now they go into buying the home with the right perspective before they even start searching. And that's what changes everything around that request for repairs conversation. The last thing I will say is expectations. I just tell them, hey, what do you guys typically do? This is after I sign the buyer loyalty agreement. What do you guys do for work? And what hour, oh, I'm a doctor, blah, blah, blah. What hours do you typically work? Awesome, great. When is it a good time to look at properties for you guys? Okay, awesome. I will get what their preferences are, and then I'll say, awesome, here is my calendar. I typically like to show homes in the afternoons or evenings during weekdays or on Saturday, and I'm out of the office with my family on Sunday. Which of these timeframes looks like a good time for you to look at property? And I just kind of preface that, and that's how I've protected my calendar for so long. So I hope that helps.
Beautiful, man. Love the contribution. Michael, you're up.
So you had asked if there's a role play call or something that you can join. My team and I do a role play call every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. I know that's early for you West Coast guys, but honestly, we've had a couple people hop on, and it's really powerful. And why is because we're able to kind of flush out some of the challenges that we've had. We don't role play anything specific. We do have a script that I might recommend, but the biggest recommendation as far as what script you use is just to pick one, check it twice, figure it out, and keep going with it. Because honestly, that's how you figure out the chops, if you will. So some of our agents will come to the call with a little bit of a different script, and that's okay. But I'm just adapting my script that works well for me with some of the lines that I'm getting from them. And that's how I'm enhancing my conversation with the buyer, seller, for sale by owner, expired, whatever the situation may be. But we're able to flush out some real challenges like, hey, I'm so sorry we took the property off the market because my husband passed away. Well, how do we manage that? That's not in the objection handler workbook, right? But we can really dig through and find out what someone might respond in real time, and then share how we responded, and then brainstorm it as a group. So typically on a 30-minute role play call, we'll have 2 or 3 people that will role play consistently from start to finish. But then we add in the opportunity to give feedback, to give contribution, and maybe share something that we heard a long, long time ago that gets to rack our brains around how we would handle the same situation. Ultimately, the 2 recommendations that I would say is, hey, have any script that works for you and use it consistently until you're good at it. And get on a role play call with some people that you can rely on. And I'll tell you, our team is there every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern time, and I'll drop the link in the chat.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Mr. Danny.
Awesome. Stephen and Michael nailed a lot of it. I want to underline a few things. One, I want to say something about role play. A big superpower I've had in my entire career has always been role play. So I role play every day. Also host one on Friday for anybody that wants to be there at TAUroleplay.com. Ryan Riel does that with me. He'll put in the chat here as well. Anytime, you guys are more than welcome. But yeah, I'm not about a scripts and using scripts all the time. It's talk tracks. I chop it down. So a few things I want to highlight. Stephen mentioned it, understanding must-haves. I think it's more about accountability than it is about qualifying. You got to keep your buyers and sellers accountable. So I live in making sure that I understand what buyers need, the 5 things they need to have in order to purchase a home. And I also do the same thing with sellers. There's no rule that says you can't do it with sellers. And when I establish the 5 things that they want, I'll actually put it in writing. We don't do that enough. We need paper trail. I have an email and a template I can share here in the group. I can get it to Mary and she can distribute it, but it's an email that I use outlining the 5 things that they want. I get them to reply saying, yes, this is what I want. And then we are only as good as the questions we ask. So the rule is we need to go 3 questions deep with everything, really understand and have a good sense for what it is that's going to make a move, whether they're buying or selling. Now, here's the trick. There is no scenario in which you can't use this formula. The formula that I use that has always been incredibly important is if you like what you see, would there be any reason why you won't move forward with the house? If you like what you hear at the inspection, would there be any reason why you wouldn't move forward with the house? You can use that formula for anything in the trend. If you get an offer that makes sense and it meets everything you're looking for, Mr. Seller, would there be any reason why you wouldn't accept an offer? Would there be any reason why you wouldn't counter an offer? That formula is endless and it changes everything in any conversation. In addition to that, Stephen mentioned it at the end. I think it's incredibly important. The uncle that goes to the inspection that is actually the one that's qualifying the home for the buyer, the influencer, you can't ignore those people. So it's not a talk track, a script, other than just inviting those influencers to be part of every conversation. It's going to change absolutely everything and change the outcome. You have to understand what their news feed is in order to help people. So if you do a good job of asking questions to understand if it's like a Google site, or if it's actually the uncle or the cousin that thinks they know everything, they need to be part of that conversation. That's part of the qualifying. So hopefully that helps. But really lean in on, if you like what you hear, would there be any reason why X? Because that changes the entire complexion. You can keep people accountable.
Brian, I know there's a open role play that you're hosting as well. Do you want to share the details?
Yeah, it's I'll put it in the chat here. It's TAUroleplay.com on Fridays at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. And I'll put that in here for everyone that wants to join. And we go for 45 minutes.
Beautiful. Okay, guys, again, all these options in here for role play. Kevin, go for it.
Hey guys, Kevin DeSilva here in Los Angeles. Steve covered a lot. Brian covered a lot. The only change up I do is I focus on motivation first and then schematics second in my line of questioning. So there's different styles. I find that when you're aligned with their motivation, it's a lot easier to navigate the rest of it. The one thing I would say that has helped my my scripting is reading books on negotiation. Like, it seems really weird, but like one of the books that has influenced my scripting the most is a book called Influence: The Psychology of Persuasion. I learned about it when I was getting my master negotiation certificate, but it was a psychology professor who helped negotiate multi-million-dollar contracts for Fortune 500 companies. So it's like 7 triggers, and just there's so much to it. It's like aligning your body language and learning all these little things about aligning your body language, your tonality. Like somebody's basically matching the people where they're at, because people like doing business with people who are like them, right? So it's being able to modify yourself to match who you're talking to, and And I do that. Like somebody answers the phone really high intense. Somebody, I have a lot of energy. So if somebody answers the phone really low, I then dial down to match them where they're at. And then, just do what's already been shared in this call and you'll get to where you want to be.
Beautiful. Lots of great stuff in there. You guys got some options now for some role plays. One thing I want to make sure you guys are aware of before we wrap, we do have a masterclass coming at 11. So stay tuned for that. 11 for those of you guys on Pacific, 2 o'clock for those of you guys on the East. We have a Instagram page that is super dialed in. Mary's really taken and ran with this thing. So there's a lot of great content that's getting shared on here. We're sharing clips from these mastermind sessions. We're sharing clips from the speaking events. We're sharing agendas, all kinds of stuff that could be really helpful for you. We're trying to make this stuff easy and shareable content for you. So, for example, there's this weekly agenda that's getting posted that's very shareable, and you can come in here and it talks through everything we have. Here's what's happening Monday in our topics. Here's what's happening. Here's what our masterclass is. Here's our new agent launch. All of the amazing things that we have. And then it just finishes with a DM for the Zoom link and password. So we're trying to create this content to make it easy for you. All you got to do is just go share this stuff to your stories. I know I had 2 people reach out to me just because of the stories that I shared that wanted to hop on here and get a taste for what we do inside of this group. So want to make sure that you guys are aware of this. Also want to make sure you guys are aware that Elias, who runs him and their team and our team are on constantly going head to head for the top spot in the world. And you guys have him hosting a business planning workshop on Wednesday for you, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. This is going to be great. So for those of you guys that want to level up, you don't really know where to go, how to plan, how to prep, all that stuff, you got Elias who's going to pour into you on Wednesday, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. There's also a website where you can go to register for it to make sure you have all of the materials and stuff that you need to execute this at a high level. So make sure you guys hop on that, ffmbusinessplanning.com, ffmbusinessplanning.com. Just hop on there. That'll get you registered. Also something that you can share with your guests. Invite anybody, invite everybody. Do a post about this on social. This is a tool that is available to you guys. I want to make sure that you guys take advantage of it. You guys always ask, is it recorded? Yes, everything is always recorded. It's always shared in the guides section of the Facebook group. And then Mary's also building out the backend hub for you as well, so that you guys can access all of that recorded content. So inside of the featured section, inside of the guides section of the Facebook group, that's where you're going to find all of that information. With that said, we're going to wrap this up and then we're going to shift over. So let me just kind of prep you guys. We have a masterclass that's going to be coming up next. So stay tuned. Ella, go ahead and finish this recording and then start it fresh.